We will discuss what is the Python functions and how we can use it and how we can define user defined functions. First of all, what is the function? Function calls. As you know, the Python has several built-in functions that we can call. For example, the type function returns the type of Python object. For example, we type the 32 and you will see it is integer. If you actually say type hello, it will say that it is strong. It is string. Similarly, if we find the maximum, there's a maximum function. If we say what is the maximum of uh, say 1 to 70 minus 1 minus 3, and it will give you uh, 70. And see, if you say what is the meaning of hello, it will give you the space, because the ASCII character of space is lowest. Similarly, if you say what is the for it's easy to understand for numbers, so you will see what is the minimum number. It's a minus 3. But there are another kind of function. For example, there's a convert function. For example, if there is 32 in string and you would convert to or cast it into integer, you'll see it's integer. But keep in mind that you cannot cast uh, string into integer. You can try these functions and you will see what will happen. For example, uh, you will see if you cast, if you, if you cast, for example, you convert integer float into integer, it will give you only 3. Why? Because it give you the whole number and ignore the numbers of after the fractions point. There are many kind of functions. For example, there's a mathematical function. For example, if see if we import the mathematical module, import the mathematical library, import math, and you will see the math.sqrt, which is the square root function. If we call the square root function, for example, uh, you will see what happens. See, the square root of 25 is 5, so choose 5. So you can call any mathematical functions with the math library. Similarly, the random number provide function that generate the pseudo numbers. Uh, say, for example, float between 0 to 5. We can generate random numbers from random library, import random dot random. When you call it, you will see it will generate another number anytime. Anytime it will, it's the 0.62 or it's 0.83. It will generate the random number between 0.0 to 1. Similarly, if you want to that if you want some, say for example, a range. For example, you say you want a random integer from 5 to 100. You will see each time you call this function, there will be an integer from 5 to 100. Every time you call, you will see it's not a function. Yes, another concept is a choice function. Choice function returns an integer chosen at random from a given sequence. For example, every time you will call it, it will give you any number between above sequence. That's useful for lottery tickets. Now we will go to the uh, now we'll go to the creating user-defined functions. You will see there is a function definition. For example, here this is a function definition. Def the function name. This is called the function definition. The function definition is simply a name given to a sequence of statement. Whenever a function is called, the sequence of statement is executed. Once you have defined a function, you can use it again and again. So it's the reusability, and For example, I say, let us, there's a Pakistani song, Dil Dil Pakistan. So I name with that, and there is a uh, print of the song. And here we will call the function. The function calls the function is simply function name with the branches, and you will see what will happen. I just repeat it. Okay. Here we define the function. This is the statement, and here we call it. So it is actually definition of function. This is the bunch of statements that will going to execute when you call a function, and here you call the function. Similarly, you can call a function within a function. For example, here we define def repetition function, and we call the lyrics a function. Then we print, for example, see it's better than we will print the lyrics. So it distinguishes that it has uh, some blank spaces and then just statics. So it distinguishes between that it is called two times. Again, we call that function, and here we call the control. You see, it is now we define the function, and here we uh, call this function. Here you call this function. You see the lyrics are repeated, then again start and again the lyrics are repeated. That's how you can uh, repeat a function. Similarly, if you there is a function and parameter, there are function parameter and arguments. The arguments are assigned to a variable called parameter. This function assign an argument to a parameter name. For example, here we say x. This function actually assign an argument to a parameter name x. So see, for example, if we want to print anything twice, then we define def, the name of the function print twice x. This is an argument, and here it's parameter. If you call a function, for example, say print spam, it will again print twice. Here, if you have any string, either half human and half android, print ds any function and will repeat twice. This is actually how we define a function and how. And now we're going to see that how to store the result of a function and store in a variable, and that is returned to the screen. Right, there are two kind of functions actually. Fruitful functions that yield some results. We use actually return a value, and we use the return function statement. And there's a void function that performs an action but don't return a value. So see, now we define a function. For example, the function we simply take any value and then double it. So we define function def. We say double up. Anyway, there we x. Now the function has been defined def the function name. Now what it will do? Say it return what it return. Uh, okay, it return the it's double. So it return double, and then we call the function. You see, we define function, and now we call function. Function is double up, and say we pass through 25. What will happen? 50. You see, it return the value. It store in a function, then it return you. Similarly, we can the return statement is in a function can be used in many ways. For example, see, we pass two arguments. For example, we say definition a to a and b, and then there is a variable edit a plus b, and then we run the edit. You will see if we know we've defined the function, and now we call the function. You will see x equal to 8 to 3 and 5. If we print this, this is the x. Now x is stored in a variable that we have just defined. So it is how we can define function, how we store and return it. I hope you enjoy the video.